Today our topic is converting units. So our essential question is, how can I convert customary units using a conversion factor? First off, converting units is changing a measurement from one unit to another. So we have certain units, and these units here in the red boxes are called customary units. So we have our linear measurements, which are to measure lengthwise. So we have 1 foot equals 12 inches. So foot can be abbreviated FT, inches IN. 1 yard equals 3 feet, again feet, and then 36 inches. 1 mile, mile would be MI. And then 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and 1 mile is also 1,760 yards. Capacity, volume, so that would be liquid. So how we measure like our milk, we get gallons of milk, or our orange juice, or our Gatorade, however we want to specify that. But 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces, and ounces would be abbreviated OZ. 1 pint, pint can be abbreviated PT, equals 2 cups. Cups usually will just be a big C, no other letter, just a C. Quart, 1 quart, that can be abbreviated QT, equals 2 pints. And 1 gallon, sometimes that'll be GAL for gallon, equals 4 quarts. And then weight. So how much you weigh. 1 pound, pound can be LB, equals 16 ounces, again ounces OZ. And then 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So these are going to be measurements that you will need to help you as you make conversions. We're going to write 10 quarts, what we're given, and put it over 1. That's what we're always going to do. We're going to take 10 quarts and put it over 1. And then we are going to multiply that by what we call a conversion factor. So we need to figure out how many quarts are in a gallon. Well, if we go back to our thing, right here we know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So our conversion factor would be 4 quarts per 1 gallon. However, we need gallons to be on the top. You always want the same units in the diagonal. So you see how we have quarts here? If we have quarts on the top, we need a quarts on the bottom. So there always have to be 1 on the top and 1 on the bottom. So we need 1 gallon, 4 quarts. Now the reason for that is because then the quarts will cancel out, leaving us with gallons. And we want our answer to be in gallons because we want to change 10 quarts to gallons. So now all we have to do is multiply. So when we multiply fractions, we multiply the top. 10 quarts times 1 gallon is going to be 10. And then 1 times 4 is 4. Fraction means divide. If we do 10 divided by 4, we get 2.5. So our answer is 2.5 gallons. 10 quarts is 2.5 gallons. 14 ounces, 2 pounds. So first off, we're going to put 14 ounces. I'm going to abbreviate over 1. When we're going to multiply, now remember, we want ounces on the bottom because it's on the top over here. And our final answer is going to be pounds, so we want pounds on the top. Now we just need to know how many ounces are in a pound. If we go back to our list, we find that there are 16 ounces for 1 pound. So where we have ounces, we'd put 16. Pounds is 1. And then we multiply. So do 14 times 1, and we get 14. We get 1 times 16 is 16. Ounces cancel. We're left with pounds, which is what we want. And then we have 14 over 16. We can leave that as a fraction, but we could reduce it because both numbers are divisible by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 16 divided by 2 is 8. So it would be 7/8 pounds. If you don't want to leave your answer as a fraction, we can just do 14 divided by 16. And we get 0.875 pounds. Either answer is acceptable. 2 more examples here. 14 inches to feet. 14 inches over 1 times, we want our final answer feet on the top, inches on the bottom. Should know this without looking, but there are 12 inches for 1 foot. Think about a ruler. Now we just need to multiply. 14 times 1 is 14. 1 times 12 is 12. Inches cancel off. We're left with feet, which is good. 14 over 12. Let's do 14 divided by 12, because remember, that fraction means divide. And we get 1.16 repeating feet. Lastly, 3 miles, 2 yards. So we have 3 miles on the top, over 1, times, we want yards on the top, because that's what we want our final answer to be. We want our final answer in yards, and then miles on the bottom. So we have a miles on the top and a miles on the bottom. Look back at our conversion factors, find miles and yards, and we know that there are 1,760 yards in a mile. So come back down here, 1,760 yards in a mile. Multiply the top. 3 times 1,760 miles, and you can feel free to use a calculator, is 5,280. And then 1 times 1 is 1, so 5,280 over 1 is just 5,280. So we have 5,280 yards would be our final answer. That's all the notes that I have for you today. Thank you for watching this video, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel.